Hi everyone, tonight, we're going to talk about the villagers of Eldergate, gathered by the castle moat to release glowing lanterns. Before we start, please like the video and subscribe, but only if you enjoy what I do here. Also, tell me in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is there. I love seeing viewers from all around the world. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for a relaxing sound, and let's begin our journey into the past. Relax now, breathe in slowly, and exhale. You are here now, present, safe, and so very gently held by the night. Let the softness of your pillow cradle your head. Let your breath slow to a gentle rhythm, like waves, like ripples, like the lull of wind through tall grass. Nothing is expected of you now. There's nowhere you need to go, nothing to solve. All you must do is listen, float, and fall into peace. Breathe in again, and imagine the air smelling faintly of moss and wood smoke. Breathe out and feel your body melt deeper into the mattress. The world is quiet, and in this quiet, a story begins. Our story tonight sets sail at the edge of a forest where time moves a little slower, where the moon hangs low and round like a lantern of its own. You are arriving in Eldergate, a village wrapped in ivy and memory, tucked behind hills that hum with old songs. It's the evening of the lantern vigil, the night where dreams are spoken into flame and wishes are sent drifting across the water. Imagine yourself walking a path of soft earth beneath your feet. Trees rise tall around you, their leaves whispering secrets to the wind. A brook murmurs nearby, skipping over pebbles worn smooth by centuries of flow. Your footsteps make no sound, only a hush, as if even the earth is trying not to disturb the moment. The sky above is deep blue velvet, scattered with the first stars of evening. A gentle breeze weaves through the branches, carrying the scent of lavender, beeswax, and sweet applewood smoke. Lanterns flicker in the distance, warm pinpricks of light floating near water. Eldergate awaits. The village is quiet, but alive in a soft, sacred way. You pass low stone cottages with thatched roofs and glowing windows, where old dogs sleep by the hearth and loaves of bread cool on wooden sills. There are voices too, but hushed, like prayers. As you follow the lantern-lit path, you see them, the villagers, gathering one by one near the castle moat. This is not just a celebration, it's a ritual, a peaceful tradition older than memory. Every summer's end, they come to the water's edge to send messages not to each other, but to the departed, to those they miss, to the unseen. The belief is simple and beautiful. Water remembers, and once a year, under the right moon, it carries your whispers across the veil between worlds. Let your shoulders relax now. Feel that idea sink into you, not just the fantasy, but the feeling of it, the comfort, the calm. Your thoughts begin to slow like the water in the moat, still, reflective, deep. You arrive with the others at the foot of the old keep. It rises above you, gentle and grey, its walls softened by lichen and time. But the moat that surrounds it is what calls you. Wide, dark, and shining with reflected flame. Hundreds of floating lanterns made from thin wood and oiled paper bob on the surface. Their tiny candles flicker softly, like stars caught in water. One of them is for you. You're handed a lantern by an elderly woman with silver hair braided into a crown. Her name is Milena, and her eyes are warm and kind. Her voice is barely a whisper. "Write what's in your heart," she says, offering you a small charcoal stylus and a square of linen-themed paper. But don't use too many words. Water remembers feelings, not grammar. You smile and take the lantern, its sides already lightly glowing from the flickering candle inside. It's warm in your hands, light as a feather. You kneel by the edge of the moat, and you begin to write. Maybe it's a name, maybe it's a word, maybe it's nothing at all, just a symbol, a swirl, a soft mark from your hand. What matters is the intention, the love behind it, the longing, the hope. You place the paper inside your lantern and seal it closed with a thin reed of honey-liquid wood. Milena lights the candle for you with a taper drawn from the castle wall. The wick catches fire with a delicate hiss, and then your lantern glows from within. "Let it go," she says, and you do. You set it upon the water. For a moment, it wobbles uncertain, finding its place. Then the breeze catches it gently, and it begins to drift. A soft, glowing shape sliding toward the center of the moat, where dozens more already glide, each one a soulless whisper. You watch it go. You feel a release, something inside you unknots, something small and quiet. Maybe you didn't know you were carrying it. Maybe it was too tender to name. But now, it's floating. You hear the soft rush of breath all around as others release their lanterns too. A communal exhale, the kind that carries sorrow and gratitude together. You sit down on the grassy bank. The night around you is filled with soft sounds. The trickle of water, the flutter of wings overhead, the crackling breath of tiny flames. You listen, you breathe. You begin to feel the edges of sleep grazing your thoughts like feathers, like fog. Nearby, a young woman kneels at the water. Her name is Astrid, and she is one of the caretakers of this ritual. She's dressed in soft linen and carries a woven basket of unlit lanterns. Her hair glows golden in the firelight. She doesn't speak often, only smiles, only nods. She dips her fingers into the moat and closes her eyes. Her lantern sits beside her, unlit. Milena walks over, placing a hand on Astrid's shoulder. "Still haven't written yours?" she asks, gently. Astrid smiles faintly. "Not yet." The old woman chuckles softly, the sound like pages turning. "You never rush." "That's good." The water waits. They sit together, quiet, as another gust of wind kisses the trees. You close your eyes now and feel the air against your own skin cool, but not cold, the kind of air that carries comfort in its bones. You let the night fill your ears. You hear the low croak of a frog somewhere near the water, the rhythmic pulse of insects, the tender creak of a wooden dock shifting in place. Everything in this world moves slowly, softly, like breath. Your thoughts begin to blur around the edges. You don't need to stay alert. You're safe here. The story will hold you, even as your awareness fades in and out. That's the magic of this night. It doesn't mind if you drift. Above you, the sky has darkened to its richest blue. The stars grow brighter, and the moon, now fully risen, casts a silver sheen on the water. It reflects off every lantern, creating the illusion of a second sky below you. Stars above, stars below, and you, somewhere in the middle, floating in between. The villagers begin to sing, not loudly, just softly, a lullaby passed down through generations. No words, just melody. It flows like the water itself, winding through the reeds and into your heart. And still, the lanterns drift, and still, your breath slows, and still, the story continues. But you don't have to follow it all. You can rest, you can float here, wrapped in night and memory and light. Sleep is coming gently now, like a feather drifting through dusk. So, close your eyes, and let your lantern drift. You are resting now. The moat is still, save for the slow gliding of candlelit lanterns across its velvet surface. The music of the night surrounds you, low hums of frogs in the rushes, the wings of nightbirds sweeping overhead, the flutter of moths drawn to the warmth of firelight. The air smells of damp stone, wild chamomile, and beeswax. You are safe. You are held in the calm hush of Eldergate's oldest night. The song has faded into silence now, but its melody still lingers in the bones of the castle, the roots of the trees, the quiet beating of your heart. The villagers remain seated or kneeling, eyes half closed, their minds adrift in memory and reverence. And beside you, Astrid speaks. Her voice is soft, woven with kindness and candlelight. "Would you like to hear how the lanterns began?" she asks, not looking at you but at the water. You nod, or maybe your breath shifts slightly. Either way, she knows. She begins, her voice a lullaby. Many years ago, long before Eldergate was a village, there stood only a keep, and a moat that ran wide and deep around it. Inside lived a young healer named Isla. You can see her now in your mind, Isla walking barefoot along the banks of a then wild moat, her satchel filled with herbs and roots. The wind tugs gently at her linen skirts, and she hums softly as she gathers yarrow and marsh mint from the water's edge. She lives alone, but she is not lonely. The land speaks to her, the moat listens, and each evening, she lights a single candle and sets it on the windowsill of her stone tower, facing the water. A beacon, she calls it, so the lost can find their way. One summer, a terrible illness sweeps through the surrounding lands. Feverish travelers arrive at her door, pleading for help. Isla does not turn them away. She works day and night mixing poultices, steeping teas, whispering prayers over bowls of steaming herbs. But not everyone can be saved. And so, when the sun sets, she writes their names on scraps of bark, lights a candle, places it in a hollowed gourd, and sets it afloat on the moat. "Let the water carry you where I cannot," she says each time. Night after night, her gourds drift, aglow, across the dark water. The villagers, those who survive, begin to notice, begin to gather, and they, too, write names, wishes, regrets, hopes. They bring her candles, paper, leaves, pressed with ink. They kneel at the bank and whisper into the flames. A ritual is born. The illness passes, but the lanterns remain. Even long after Eli is gone, her name, now more legend than memory, the villagers of Eldergate continue what she began. Astrid's voice fades for a moment. You hear the brush of her sleeve as she adjusts her lantern on her lap. Its candle still unlit. She says, "It's said that Isla's final lantern still floats. That one night each year, if the wind is right and your heart is clear, it will pass you by. You open your eyes, or perhaps you just widen your awareness. The moat stretches out before you, glowing with dozens, maybe hundreds of tiny lights. Any one of them could be eyeless." A gentle ripple breaks the surface near a willow tree, and a lone lantern drifts a little closer to shore. Its paper is yellowed with age, its candlelight steady and strange. You blink once, twice, and then it's gone. Just another among the many. Astrid sighs beside you, not with sorrow but with peace. I like to believe the water keeps every wish, that it holds them all, like a great book made of reflection. She doesn't say more for a long time, and that's all right. Silence is sacred here. You feel your body sinking further into stillness. The grass beneath you is soft and cool. The breeze carries the gentle creak of the dock and the scent of sweetgrass. You imagine walking these same banks hundreds of years before, lantern in hand, eyes full of hope. Your mind begins to drift. Above you, clouds roll slowly across the sky. They do not hurry. They do not threaten. They simply are luminous shapes coasting past the stars. You watch them float, and you follow. Your breath is quiet now, deep, rhythmic. Every inhale is a step further into peace. Every exhale releases something old, something tired, something no longer needed. And still, the lanterns drift. A small child, perhaps no older than 7, approaches the water's edge just down the slope. Her name is Lynn, and her mother kneels beside her, holding a little lantern shaped like a swan. Lynn whispers something into the opening, her voice no louder than a breeze through wheat. Her mother lights the wick, and they set it afloat together. The swan lantern wobbles once, twice, then glides forward, elegant and sure. You feel your heart swell, not with emotion exactly, but with something deeper, stillness, belonging. As if you, too, have set something free tonight. You close your eyes again, knowing the light will still be there when you open them. Everything here moves slowly, gently. Nothing rushes in. Astrid finally lights her own lantern, and in the warmth of her breath, as she shields the flame from the wind, she speaks no wish aloud. She just watches, and so do you. The two of you sit in silence, watching the moat carry her lantern away. It joins the other tiny stars sailing over water, a constellation of memory. You feel something deep inside you grow quiet. It's not gone. Resting, comforted, Melina returns, carrying a clay cup of warm tea. Steam rises from it, scented with valerian, chamomile, and a hint of honey. She offers it to you with a smile. "Helps the dreams come softer," she says. You wrap your fingers around the cup. It's warm, smooth. You sip slowly. The tea is delicate, with a sweetness that lingers. Your breath slows even more. The villagers begin to hum again, not a song, this time, but a shared tone. A low, harmonic note that vibrates in your chest. You don't need to know the tune to join. You don't even need to hum. Just listening is enough. Let the sound wash over you. Let the vibrations move through your body. You're not just hearing it, you're part of it. This moment, this night, this ritual, it belongs to you, too. You lie back on the grass, your body completely supported. The stars spin slowly overhead. The water cradles every lantern. The breeze touches your face like a mother's hand. Sleep is not far now, not forced, not chased, just arriving. Like a lantern drifting toward the edge of the world. Let it come, let it carry you. You're still lying in the grass. The earth beneath you is warm from the touch of the day's sun. It holds you like something beloved. Around you, the lanterns continue to glide, their soft flames drawing lazy golden arcs across the moat's black surface. Stars above, lanterns below mirroring each other in an endless hush. The tea has settled in your body now. Its warmth coils gently in your chest and softens the curve of your thoughts. Every breath is smoother, fuller, quieter. You're no longer just watching the ritual. You are within it. You feel the breeze as it brushes your cheeks, lifting a few strands of hair and making them dance like candle smoke. The sound of water lapping at the bank is gentle, like the rustling of soft linen sheets. In the distance, someone laughs quietly. The sound is brief, harmless, warm. Everything here is soft. Everything here is slow. You turn your head slightly and see Astrid still seated nearby. Her posture is relaxed, her gaze fixed on the water where her lantern now floats among the others. Her eyes shimmer not with tears, but with memory, with something deep and kind. You wonder what her wish was. Without looking, she begins to speak. "I used to come here with my brother," she says softly, voice just above a whisper. "He was 3 years older, always daring me to go farther, climb higher, wade deeper." She smiles, and it lights her face like moonlight on still water. "There was a summer when we built a raft from reeds and cider barrels. We called it the Otter. We paddled across the moat and tied it up right under the willow, made a secret fort. We said we were guarding the castle, that our lanterns were signals to the other forts across the stars." She laughs once, quietly, but it catches for a breath. "He got sick that winter," she says. "Fever that came like a storm and didn't let go. And after he passed, I couldn't come back here for a long time." The wind moves softly through the willows. Their branches sway like ghostly arms in slow motion, dipping and rising in gentle arcs. Astrid pulls something from the pocket of her cloak, a thin ribbon, faded blue, almost grey. She holds it gently between her fingers. "This was his. I tie it to my lantern every year. I think the water remembers him." She lays the ribbon down on the grass beside her, and for a while, neither of you speaks. You listen instead to the song of the night, so full, so quiet, so complete, the creaking of the old dock, the sleepy hum of insects, the breath of the leaves. The world doesn't speak loudly here. It never needs to. In the stillness, you hear something else, a soft chime, high and distant, as though coming from deep within the castle. Astrid tilts her head. "You hear it, too?" she asks. You nod. She stands slowly, brushing off her skirt. "It means the Echo Keeper is opening the inner courtyard, only once a year." You rise, too. Your limbs feel weightless, as though the moat's gentle rhythm has entered your bones. Each step is like floating. Together, you follow the lantern path toward the drawbridge, which has been lowered across the moat. It creaks softly beneath your feet as you cross. The castle looms ahead, grey and vast, yet strangely welcoming. Stone walls rise high around you, not to keep danger out, but to hold stories in. At the far end of the courtyard stands a small, arched doorway. The wooden door has been opened. A man waits, there cloaked, hooded, holding a lantern carved from crystal. Its glow is soft and pulsing, like a heartbeat. He nods wordlessly and steps aside. You and Astrid enter together. Inside, the air is warmer, thicker with time. It smells of old paper, beeswax, and dried lavender. Candles float in shallow bowls all along the walls, casting trembling reflections on the stone. You follow a winding staircase downward. Each step echoes like a soft drumbeat, down and down, until the sounds of the village above are replaced by something deeper, memory. This is the echo chamber, the heart of the castle, where sound carries not just through space, but through time. The chamber is round, with high curved walls that shimmer faintly in the candlelight. In the center is a shallow basin, filled not with water, but with polished obsidian, a mirror so dark it seems to draw light into it. Astrid whispers, "Here, the old ones say you can still hear what was whispered 100 years ago, if you listen closely enough." You sit beside the basin. So does she. The silence is velvet. Then, a voice, faint, gentle, just barely there. "Find me, by the willow." You look to Astrid. She smiles faintly. "It's him," she says. "He said that every time we played hide and seek, find me by the willow." The voice fades. Another one rises. "You were my home." Then another. "I forgive you. Tell her, I still wait by the candle bridge. Don't forget the tea." Voices like wind. Voices like dreams. Not frightening, not strange, just echoes, pieces of hearts, given shape again for just a moment. Some are only sighs. Some are laughter. Some are names whispered so tenderly you feel tears well without knowing why. The Echo Keeper lights more candles. Their flames stretch upward, illuminating etchings in the stone, symbols, spirals, names carved by hand, layer upon layer, reaching high above. Each voice, the keeper says quietly, is a lantern we cannot see. Astrid touches the edge of the basin. It helps, sometimes, to listen, not for answers, just to know someone was here. You place your hand beside hers. The stone is cool and steady. No one rushes you. No one urges you onward. You may stay in the echo chamber as long as you like, listening, resting, drifting. Sleep tugs at your awareness, again not heavy, but soft, like fingers brushing your eyelids. Astrid's voice reaches you one more time. Some of these voices aren't from the past, she says. Some are waiting to be remembered. And then, silence again. Let yourself sink. Now, you are held by stone and starlight and memory. There is nothing more to do, only to breathe, only to drift, only to sleep. You awaken not with a start, but with a gentle return to awareness. The way petals reopen to moonlight. The air is still and warm. The echoes of the chamber are now behind you. You and Astrid have ascended the spiral steps once more. Your steps soft, your minds quieter than when you entered. As you cross the courtyard, you feel the difference in the air. It carries the hush of midnight now, when the world is tucked under its deepest quilt of sleep. Above, clouds drift slowly like brushed wool. The stars blink lazily through their gaps. And the lanterns, the lanterns still float. Dimmer now, fewer perhaps, but just as purposeful, just as sure. The drawbridge creaks again beneath your feet as you cross back to the village's edge. And waiting at the other end, standing like a lighthouse keeper watching over the tide, is Myth. Her silver braid catches the lantern light. Her eyes, as ever, are calm and deep. She carries a small wooden tray in her hands, and from it rises a gentle curl of steam. Come, she says softly. It's time. She leads you and Astrid to a round stone table nestled beneath the boughs of an ancient elm. On the table are 3 teacups, carved from river clay and glazed with midnight blue. She sets down the tray. The cups are already filled. The tea is the color of dusk, not quite gold, not quite gray, with tiny petals floating on its surface. The scent is soft floral, with something deeper beneath, a sweetness like honey left in sunlight, a coolness like mint growing beside a well. You sit. Astrid sits. Milena remains standing. This tea, she begins, her voice just above a whisper, is made only once each year. On this night, with herbs gathered from the moat's edge and steeped in the moon's pull. They say it remembers the dreams of those who have drunk it before. She smiles faintly. Don't be afraid. It only shows you what your heart already knows. She lifts her cup and sips. You do the same. The tea is warm but not hot, smooth, fragrant. It glides across your tongue like silk. Astrid closes her eyes as she drinks. Her shoulders fall, her breath deepens, and you feel something shift within. Not dramatically, not like thunder, but like a key gently turning in a long-forgotten lock. Your eyelids flutter. The air grows softer still. The breeze seems to speak now not in words, but in feelings. And the night becomes something else. You aren't sleeping, and yet you are. You aren't dreaming, and yet you are. The table, the tree, the teacups, they shimmer slightly. The shadows bend just so. The elm's leaves rustle in a rhythm almost like language. You look up, and the stars seem to be leaning in. Milena watches you, her expression unchanged, but her voice seems to come from inside your mind now, and not your ears. Let it take you, she says, and it does. You are no longer seated at the table. Not fully. You're floating not above the ground, but within something vast. You stand on the surface of the moat, somehow solid beneath your feet. The lanterns drifting slowly past your knees like gentle fish. The sky above is impossibly deep. The water reflects not the sky, but memories. Not yours alone, but all who've come before. You see a little boy laughing as he drops a tiny boat into the water. A woman weeping softly as she folds a paper swan. An old man smiling with his eyes closed, holding nothing but the memory of a name. You see Astrid and her brother on their raft, swinging their legs over the side. You see Isla, the first healer, setting flame to the very first gourd. And then you see yourself, not as you are now, but as you once were. A version of you, smaller maybe, or braver, or kinder, or truer, writing your first wish on a piece of bark and letting it go. It floats beside you. You read it? You remember The moat holds it all, not just your griefs, but your hopes, not just sorrow, but the gentle, unspoken dreams you never had the courage to say aloud, and all of it floats. Melina's voice returns, not urgent, not commanding, just present. Do you see now? She asks. The tea is only a mirror, and the water only carries what you already give it. The image begins to fade, not vanish, but recede. Like a tide drawing softly back, you return to the table beneath the elm. The teacup is still warm in your hands. Astrid blinks slowly, as if waking from a nap inside a memory. Melina leans forward, brushing a fallen leaf from the table. Every lantern carries a weight, she says, but the water was made for holding it. You nod, whether out loud or only within your mind. You aren't sure, but she sees it. She knows. You take another sip of the tea, and this time, the flavors are stronger. Lemon balm, something like cinnamon bark, something cool and grounding. The warmth slips down your throat and settles in your chest like an ember. Astrid is quiet, but her eyes shine. Melina refills your cups without asking. The pot never seems to empty. Let it stay with you, she whispers. Let this stillness follow you long after the night has passed. A quiet rustle passes through the branches above. Somewhere nearby, a soft owl call echoes. The lanterns on the moat have thinned, but those that remain burn steadily. You feel that. If you closed your eyes now, you would sleep deeper than you have in years, but not out of exhaustion, out of peace, out of trust. Melina rises. She gathers the tray and leaves you there alone with Astrid, with your breath, with the hush of midnight and the tea. You hear no footsteps as she goes, just the wind, just the leaves, just the ripples on the water. Astrid leans back and sighs. I don't know what the tea showed you, she says softly, but it always shows me the same thing. You glance at her. I see myself, she says. Not how I look, but how I feel when I remember that love doesn't end, that the people I miss are not gone. They just wait for me in the places I carry them. She looks at you gently, eyes full of flickering flame. You carry people, too, she says, and they shine brighter than you think. You feel your breath catch, but not in sadness, in warmth. The tea is finished, the table is quiet, and your mind is finally, blissfully, still. Let the stillness hold you now. Let the tea work its way through every corner of your being. Let your heart float, lantern-like, across the dark water of sleep. There is nothing left to ask, nothing left to solve, only to breathe and drift. Breathe in slowly and let it go. The moon is high now, near its peak, its silver light cast across the landscape like a hush. You've returned to the edge of the moat, the warmth of Melina's tea still lingering inside you like a lullaby. All around, the last of the lanterns drift in quiet ceremony, golden light bobbing on the water's slow current. One by one, they disappear into the mist that hangs low over the far curve of the moat. You and Astrid sit side by side, neither of you speaking. There's no need. The quiet is full, rich, the kind of silence that only arrives in sacred places, when the world itself agrees to stillness. The breeze returns cooler now, and laced with the faint scent of wood smoke and water mint. The grasses rustle softly behind you. Somewhere nearby, a nightjar sings, low and rhythmic. Its call repeats like a mantra. You glance toward the great willow tree at the bend of the moat. Its long branches trail their fingers through the water, creating ripples that move in concentric circles, like time echoing outward. Astrid follows your gaze. That's where the old path begins, she says. You tilt your head. There's a trail beneath the willow hidden now by time and moss. She continues. It leads to the side of the moat where lanterns go when they vanish into the mist. You look at her, surprised. She nods slowly, as if hearing your question without it being spoken. Yes, she says. No one talks about it much, not because we're forbidden, but because most people don't want to know. You're quiet for a moment, but something in you stirs, a gentle pull, like a tide inside your chest. Not urgent, not loud, just steady, curious. Would you like to see it? Astrid asks. You nod. She stands without hurry, brushing her hands together. You rise beside her, and together you walk to the willow. Its presence is immense, but not overwhelming. It feels ancient, wise. The branches sway and click gently in the breeze, their movements hypnotic. Astrid parts the curtain of leaves, revealing a narrow opening between the hanging limbs and the stone edge of the moat. You duck through, Inside, it's like stepping into a secret chamber. The air is cooler. The scent of damp earth rises stronger. Moonlight filters through the canopy, fractured and golden. You hear the soft crunch of dried leaves underfoot, and then you see it, a path, barely visible, made of smooth stones and moss. It curves along the far edge of the moat, hidden from the view of the village. You follow it. Each step feels reverent. The earth beneath your feet is soft but sure, like walking on old memory. Your breath is slow, deep. Every inhalation brings the scent of forgotten places, rain-washed bark, rusted iron, sun-warmed reeds. The mist thickens slightly as you go. It curls around your ankles. It breathes in time with you. Astrid walks just ahead, lantern in hand. As you move, the silence becomes deeper but never empty. It's filled with presence, not of people exactly, but of stories, of old footprints, of voices long past. Then the path widens into a small clearing, and you see them, lanterns, hundreds, perhaps thousands, some resting at the water's edge, some caught in low branches, their candles long extinguished, some floating gently in pools where the current slows. It's not a graveyard, it's a resting place, where the wishes go when they're ready to sleep. Astrid kneels at the edge of the bank. She places her lantern still glowing on a smooth stone and lets it be. You follow, gently lowering your hand into the water. It's cool, still. You sense, not absence here, but continuation. This is where the lanterns come when they're no longer needed to carry hope, because the hope has settled, because the heart has found peace. Astrid speaks in a voice barely louder than the mist. They say some wishes grow roots here, that they sink into the moat and rise as reeds or lilies, that nothing is lost, only transformed. You don't speak, you don't need to. A lantern floats toward you from the mist. Its light is faint, but intact. Inside the paper walls, you see a name you recognize, maybe from childhood, maybe from a dream, maybe from a part of yourself you hadn't touched in years. It pauses at your feet, and then, quietly, it sinks. Not in sorrow, not in fear, but like a leaf finding its place in the soil. Astrid stands beside you, silent witness to the lantern's descent. We're not meant to hold on forever, she says. Some lights are meant to go under, so others can rise. You step back from the edge, and for the first time, you feel something inside you lighten not with forgetting, but with understanding. Not everything that drifts away is lost. Some things are simply done traveling. You remain in the clearing a while longer, your breath steady. Around you, the trees sway softly, their branches clicking gently like wind chimes made of wood. The lanterns rest, as you will soon rest. Astrid turns and begins to walk back. You follow. Each step feels like releasing a knot in your body, like a sigh you didn't know you were holding. The willow branches part once again as you exit, and the village lights come into view. The hush remains with you, not behind you, but within you. The path may be hidden again by morning, but you'll remember, and more importantly, you'll feel it. Let your breath return to the rhythm of the moat. Let your thoughts move like lanterns, glowing, fading gently into the mist. The sky is darker now. The moon begins its slow descent. You are nearly ready to sleep, but not just sleep. Rest, deeply, truly, as deeply as the lanterns rest beneath the willow. Settle in again, dear listener. Let your shoulders soften. Let your hands grow warm. Let the air fill your chest like a tide washing gently ashore. You've returned from the forgotten path beneath the willow, and the hush of that secret place still clings to your skin like dew. The clearing, the mossed stone, the resting lanterns, all of it now, a tender echo inside you. Astrid walks beside you, quiet, her lantern hand now empty. The two of you pass beneath the branches once more, re-entering the open field. The willow's long fingers fall closed behind you like a curtain drawn shut, sealing the hidden path away again until next year. But the air is different now. You feel it as soon as you step out, a kind of tension gentle, like the moment before snowfall. Not fear, not worry, but a tingling stillness, as if the whole night is leaning in to listen. Above, clouds are clearing, and the stars are sharper now, each one, clearer, closer. The sky stretches wider, black as deep ink, spangled with tiny, endless lights. The moon begins its slow descent toward the edge of the horizon, its shape fuller than before. The villagers have gathered once more, forming a wide crescent around the moat. There are no songs now, no chants, just breath, just presence. And the lanterns, what few remain, drift toward the center of the water as if called. Milena stands near the stone dock, holding a different lantern now. It's taller than the others, etched with old runes, its flame blue and flickering. You and Astrid stop beside her. The last light, Milena whispers, lit only when the moat is ready. You don't ask what that means, because somehow you feel it. She kneels slowly and places the tall lantern on the water. It doesn't drift, it hovers. The flame rises, it dances, tall and sharp like a lighthouse flame cutting through fog. One by one, the other lanterns turn toward it, their small flames flickering in response, as if bowing in gentle reverence. Then, just as the moon dips its edge past the treetops, it happens. A low hum begins to rise, not from the people, not from the earth, but from the water itself. It vibrates, soft and deep, like a forgotten instrument being played from beneath the surface. The lanterns tremble slightly. Their lights brighten, not brighter in heat, but in clarity. The colors change subtly. Golds shift to pale rose. Blues become violet. Some flicker with silver. Others glow with green, like spring leaves lit from inside. You feel the sound in your ribs, in the soles of your feet. And then, the moat begins to glow. Not all at once, not in a flash, but slowly. Like sunrise beneath the water, a ripple of light begins at the center and pulses outward in waves. The glow is soft, as if someone poured starlight into the moat. It travels through the lanterns, beneath the reeds, over every stone. The water gleams like polished obsidian, then like mother of pearl, then like something you have no name for. Gasps rise from the villagers. Some press hands to their hearts. Others close their eyes. No one speaks. Not now. Not during this. Because this is the night the moat glows bright. It is rare. It is sacred. It doesn't happen every year. Only when enough wishes are ready. Only when the weight of what's been carried can finally be released. You watch as the lanterns begin to rise, just a few inches at first, floating. Not on water now, but just above it. Their flames steady, their reflections intact. Then slowly, they drift upward. Not all of them. Just a few, the oldest, the ones that have waited the longest. Milena bows her head. Astrid clasps your hand, and you feel it too, a warmth rising not from your skin, but from inside you, like something old and tired exhaling at last. The lanterns that rise drift toward the sky in slow spirals. They climb higher, until they're indistinguishable from the stars themselves. Then they're gone. The moat dims once more. The hum fades, and silence returns. But it is a different silence now, a full one, complete. You sit down on the soft grass. Astrid joins you. Others do, too. One by one, villages settle beside the water, forming a circle of presence. No one claps. No one cheers. Because this was never a performance. It was a letting go. Milena walks slowly among the gathered, touching each shoulder in turn. Her fingers are warm. When she reaches you, she says nothing. But her eyes say, "You saw it." And you nod, because yes, you did, and somehow it saw you, too. You lie back on the grass, the sky now quiet above. The lanterns that remain on the water have returned to their slow drift. The moat glimmers faintly with the memory of light, like an afterimage behind closed eyes. You close your own, and listen to the soft night return. Crickets begin to sing again. Owls call to each other across the trees. A breeze rustles the leaves. And your breath is slow and deep and soft. Let this glow remain with you. Let it tuck itself behind your ribs in the quiet spaces you carry. Let it remind you when waking comes that sometimes the weight we bear isn't ours forever. Sometimes it rises, sometimes it glows, and sometimes it leaves gently, like a lantern lifting off still water. Let yourself drift now. The brightest part of the night has passed, and the deepest sleep awaits. Breathe with me now, in and out. Let your eyelids grow heavier with each soft exhale. Let your thoughts fall like feathers, one by one, into a deepening stillness. The night is quieter than ever, not from emptiness, but from fulfillment. The villagers have settled into their own hush, scattered like gentle stars across the banks of the moat. Some lie beneath wool blankets, some sit, arms wrapped around knees, faces turned toward the fading lanterns. Others, like Astrid and you, remained side by side, listening to the water speak in soft murmurs. The glow from the great lanterns has dimmed, but not vanished. It lingers like the smell of lavender long after the herb has been dried and hung, like warmth on your cheek from a fire now burned low. It is still in the grass, still in your bones, still in your breath. Astrid stirs quietly, drawing her cloak around her shoulders. "There's one more story," she says, her voice barely above a sigh. "It's one Milena tells only when the moat has glowed." You nod without speaking. She begins. "Long ago, there was a child named Orin. He was born during a storm, on a night when the river threatened to spill into the moat, and thunder rattled the castle stones. They say his first cry echoed so loudly that the willows leaned in to listen." Astrid smiles at the memory not hers, but the village's, a story passed like a quilt, stitch by stitch, from mouth to ear. "Orin was different," she continues. "Not strange, not wild, just listening, always listening. He'd sit beside the moat for hours, as if the ripples were speaking only to him. You can almost see him now, a small boy, with shaggy dark hair, feet in the water, hands cradling something invisible but precious. One night," she says, "he saw a lantern that wasn't his. It drifted toward him across the water, its flame tall and blue. Inside was a wish he hadn't written." Astrid leans closer, her voice softening even further, almost like breath against your ear. "The wish said, 'Find me before I forget.'" The wind stirs the reeds nearby. The water shifts. No one knew where the lantern came from. Not his parents, not the elders. It wasn't written in our ink. It wasn't sealed with our wax, but Orin, he kept it. He carried it home, placed it in the window beside his bed. You hear the distant crack of a small branch falling. The forest is listening now. Every night for a year, he whispered to it. Not to the flame, but to the wish. "I'm trying." He'd say, "I'll find you. I promise." Astrid's eyes glimmer in the lantern light. Then one morning, the lantern was gone. You feel a chill, not cold, but meaningful. The window was still closed. No draught, no thief. Just a curl of soot on the sill and a single word left behind. She pauses. "Remember." Silence stretches around you. Not uncomfortable, just full. "Orin changed after that," she says. "He spoke less, but he looked more at people, at trees, at stars. It was as if he'd seen something, and couldn't he put it into words, but he tried, always, in his art, in his music. In the quiet way he helped others feel heard. You'll rest your hand on the grass, fingers trailing along cool blades. Somewhere nearby, a child giggles in their sleep. A moth flutters toward a dying candle. Years later, Astrid says, he came to the willow, lit a lantern for himself this time, just one word inside. She smiles faintly. Found. She places her hands in her lap and exhales. And that was the last anyone saw of him. You let the story wash through you. Something about it clings gently to your ribs. Not fear, not sadness, recognition, as though part of you had once whispered into a lantern, and tonight, perhaps, it found its way. Astrid lies back on the grass, arms folded beneath her head. You follow, eyes turned skyward. Above, the stars no longer blink. They glow, steady. Sure, the lanterns still drifting on the moat are fewer now, but those that remain seem content, not in a rush to reach the mist, not afraid of staying. You realize something then. The lanterns are not just vessels for the lost. They are maps, for wishes still on the way. Some find their home in the water, some in the sky, and some quietly, without notice, return to the one who sent them, changed. So tonight, perhaps one of your own came back. Perhaps it floats quietly within you now, no longer burning but warming, no longer seeking but resting. Let that be enough. Let your chest rise gently with your breath. Let your jaw soften. Your eyes grow heavy. Your thoughts drift like mist over still water. No more stories tonight. No more steps to walk. Just stars above, lanterns below, and a heart that is carried well. Close your eyes if they haven't already. Feel the hush of the earth holding you. Feel your own breath returning, slowly, deeply, like the final ripple reaching the edge of the moat. You are still. You are held. You are remembered. Let the last word of the night be simple. Found. Stay where you are. You don't need to move. Just listen. The world is beginning to turn again, slowly, like the soft roll of a wheel over moss. The stillness of night, is giving way to the quiet breath of morning. It hasn't arrived yet, not fully, but it is near. You can feel it on the tips of the grass, in the hush between owl calls, in the fading strength of the stars. You remain lying in the field beside the moat. Your body is warm and heavy with rest. Your heart feels light, almost unburdened. Astrid is still beside you, her cloak drawn close, her breath steady. You can hear it, slow and measured, like wind moving through pine boughs. And across the water, the final lanterns drift gently, their lights now pale like the first hint of color brushing the sky before the sun arrives. A rooster calls faintly from the far side of the village. Another answers. It begins like this. Every year, Milena once said, before the villagers stir, before breakfast fires crackle, before wagons creak and boots crunch frost, there is this moment, this and this is where you are now, suspended, safe, still. You open your eyes just a little. The stars are dimming now, fading softly into the pale lavender of approaching day. The moon, low on the horizon, casts a long silver streak across the moat. And then, you hear footsteps, not rushed, not loud, barefoot, slow, soft as padded paws. You lift your head slightly and see Milena walking among the sleeping villagers, carrying a small satchel of dried herbs and petals. In one hand, she holds a silver bowl, and in the other, a small clay spoon. She pauses at each person, sprinkling a pinch of the mixture onto the grass near their heads. When she reaches you, she kneels. Her fingers are warm as they brush her hair back, just once. She doesn't speak, but she hums low, wordless, steady. Then she whispers, for waking, gently, kindly, fully. She sprinkles a tiny handful of lavender buds and blue mallow beside you. You inhale deeply. The scent is calming, but lifting, like a breeze at your back, a nudge toward day. She moves on, leaving behind a trail of crushed petals and scent that clings like memory. Astrid stretches beside you and opens her eyes. She smiles. Time to greet the light, she murmurs. She sits up, brushes dew from her skirts, and offers you her hand. You take it and rise slowly. Your limbs feel rested, your breath smooth, your heart tender. You and Astrid walk back toward the dock. More villagers are stirring now, blinking sleep from their eyes, hands pressed to hearts, as if waking from a dream they do not wish to end. Milena stands near the edge of the water, bowl now empty. She looks toward the east. So do you. The first golden blush of sunrise kisses the tops of the hills, then slides gently down the fields, the trees, the stone walls of It pours slowly over the village like honey, warm and thick, gilding the rooftops and making the smoke from early hearths glow amber in the chill. And then, at last, the sun breaks the horizon, and the bells begin to ring. Not church bells, not for alarm, but the lantern chimes, a dozen small bronze bells hung from the boughs of the willow and the branches of trees all along the moat. They ring softly at first, wine-kissed, then fuller, brighter, as the breeze picks up. Each one sings a slightly different note. Together, they create a song made not with hands, but with time. This is how Eldergate knows the ritual is complete. This is how the village remembers to begin again. You feel it, in your bones, in your breath, in your very skin. Today begins anew. Astrid smiles at you. Her eyes look different now, less full of longing, more full of light. We carry the night with us, she says, but we walk forward now. She nods, toward the rising sun. Come, there's tea waiting. You walk with her back toward the village square. Along the way, villagers greet one another with hushed voices and open arms. There is no chatter, no noise, only the kind of connection that does not require volume. Small tables are set with bowls of porridge, baskets of bread, and pitchers of warm milk steeped with mint and oat straw. You're handed a cup. The tea is different now, brighter, spiced with ginger and nettle and lemon rind. A morning blend. You sip slowly, letting it awaken the last corners of your spirit. Milena appears once more. She places a warm hand on your back. Did you dream? She asks. You don't answer aloud. You just nod. And she understands. You look back once toward the moat. The water's quiet now, empty of lanterns, but full of memory. The mist has lifted. The reeds sway in the sunlight. The willow leans over the water like a mother kissing a sleeping child's brow. Everything is exactly as it should be, and so are you. Let your eyes soften now. Let your breathing deepen once more. You are no longer drifting. You are anchored. You are steady. You are whole. Let the final sips of this story hold you. Let them cradle you. Let the light of dawn settle across your skin like a soft blanket. It is morning, but it is gentle. And when you rise, when you truly rise, you will carry this with you. The glow, the stillness, the wish, the way.